Hello, everyone. Welcome to our week 4 post show live chat. How's everyone doing tonight? We've got quite an interesting episode to talk about. A lot of drama and not much romance. I'm still wondering what's going on with that. Where's the romance in this season? But a whole lot of drama and a whole lot of the producers are working hard. Yes, the audio is good now. I fixed it. So excellent. I'm glad to hear that it's all good now. Perfect. So welcome to the live stream, the post-show live stream, where we're going to be discussing the show that just happened in the general season. Really, we only have two rules here. If you're new to the stream, if you haven't seen it before, number one, please no outright spoilers posted in the chat. We have mods here who will be taking care of that if they see anything of that nature. And other than that, just be kind to each other. So let's talk about this episode. Is Victoria P canceled? Yeah, we'll see. It really does not look good for her. It looks good for nobody. And one thing I'm saying about that is it looks good for nobody because who's got any romantic connection with Peter so far? I mean, obviously we've seen Maddie, and we saw a little bit at the end of the episode with Kelsey that there was some actual romance kind of going on, but it just seems every episode is all drama. We have like Champagne Gate. We have everything that happened tonight. It was multiple dramatic storylines tonight with Chase Rice showing up, and there seemed to be a lot of producer hands in that. And then everything with Alea coming back, and now the women are all peeved. I mean, yeah, Madison still seems good, and I'd say a few of the women still feel like they're getting good edits in there. Hannah Ann, we've forgotten about, I would say, and what I mean by that is all this sort of drama involving Hannah Ann has fallen to the back. Yeah, Hannah B still had the most romance with Peter so far. That's true. That that is like a legitimate thing to say right now. Hannah Ann has had the most romance. So, whew, man, I feel like this, like, is it me or has this season had more drama than a usual season of The Bachelor does? Like, a storyline with, like, the whole Chase Rice thing, that would be, like, a one-off of a season in previous seasons. Right? Like, there would be one big dramatic moment, and that would be the big one that would happen in the past. But yeah, did you notice how much they hyped up Cleveland? Yeah, the girls loved Cleveland. They loved it. So I don't know. I personally, as like, I'm here for the drama. Drama is part of why we love The Bachelor, why it's a guilty pleasure. But I don't know, it seems a little heavy-handed right now. But quick recap for the people who didn't get to watch. So the really quick recap is Victoria F, not Victoria, the dark-haired Victoria, got the one-on-one first. She arrived at the date, and her ex, Chase Rice, was singing. He was the musical guest for the date, and there was drama there. And then they had a group date, and it was at a football stadium in Cleveland, and Alea showed up, and then Alea got the rose, and there was a whole bunch of drama with the women, and Kelsey also got a one-on-one, and Peter is completely befumbled. So.
Could I steal you for a moment?
Oh, that's the wrong one right there. Which one's the...
Nope,
that's the wrong... Okay, well, never mind. We're moving on.
Are you ready for round 5?
Nope.
It is the most...
Nope.
I'm like,
There we go.
befumbled.
Got
I mean, I don't know another word.
it. There's a whole bunch of sound ones for you. So... I don't know. It seems like Peter's not having so much fun anymore. But... Yeah, so the women are not happy, and that's kind of where we... So also at the end of the episode, we left with another end of the episode without a rose ceremony. And it's going to be another to be continued, where I'm guessing you're going to get one more rose ceremony. I don't know, they're stretching out the season or what, but yeah, Chase was looking uncomfortable, but I bet you Chase is not feeling uncomfortable right now, because I feel like he got a pretty good look on this season, or on this episode, and I think he's released like another song or something today, so he's in a pretty good spot. So if he ends up with if he's not going to end up with Hannah Brown, that's just not a thing I think that's going to happen. We have a lot of wading through drama to get to, but we're going to get to the romance at some point. So someone says, I honestly don't like any of the girls. And that is something that I also feel. And I don't mean to say like I don't like any of the girls, but I'm having a hard time really connecting and like rooting for someone this season. There are women on who I think are funny or entertaining, and there's lots of women who are on who I believe are great, but they're just not getting camera time, and everything else seems to just kind of be drama, and the drama's fun when there are people that you're really pushing for. And it's like in any good movie, you know, you can go see a movie and it can be full of incredible action and fun moments, but if you don't care about the characters, you're not going to really care what happens to them, right? And there just seems to be like, I don't know, maybe there's people who say like I'm rooting for Madison, and I don't know, who else would there be? Very sus that Kelly's been absent. And Nat Meg, thank you so much for the super chat. Tammy for first Asian Bachelorette, please. Tammy is one of those people that I think is an entertaining person on the show, and I like on the show, and I would be rooting for her if I thought she had any chance of winning. So, do you think Victoria F will be called out? I think Victoria F will. There's a lot more to come with Victoria F. We've seen her in the previews. And thank you again, Nat, for the super chat. I'm down for Tammy as first Asian Bachelorette. Totally. I think she's funny and good TV and normal seeming and genuine so far. Victoria F will be called out probably at some point. I mean, something happens with her. We've seen in the previews where she doesn't seem to be one to shy away from the drama. And Carolyn Needles, thank you so much for the super chat. When Madison said Kobe as Peter was shooting, I cringed. Rest in peace to the GOAT. Yes, I noticed that as well. And I have to imagine that was put in on purpose. I mean, look, so I mean, I don't know what it's like, the process of putting in a show and having it. I mean, it might have been coincidence. It could have been because I don't know at what time you put in a show to be to ABC or to the networks to be aired, but it seems like very on the nose that was put in. And Sophie G, thank you for the super chat. I'm starting to think that Peter ends up alone. I know that is I don't I can see why you'd think that. There's it does make you wonder why they're framing the show this way. Is it just purely because they're going in that direction of drama is now king over romance, especially in the middle of the season, and then maybe they'll kind of curve back to it? But the caption said "Go pee." I'll come back to that. But yeah, no, this season, with all the women turning against him, all the drama and everything, yeah, I can see why you might think that things aren't going to turn out well for Peter. So the caption said "Go pee." Really? Is that true? I'd love to see a screenshot of that, because that's a bit messed up. So I think that's really weird if it did. It could maybe it's one of those situations where the captions get it wrong or whatever. I don't know, but that seems strange. And Bella, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you like Kelly? I'm personally rooting for her. I do like Kelly as well so far. I mean, it's hard. Like, I like the people who are not overly in the drama so far. Kelly's been absent. Last episode we saw Kelly briefly. And I will say that because there have been a couple of people that have said Kelly hasn't gotten any screen time this episode. Same with Madison this episode. They did the previous episode get a little special bonus time thrown in there, and so I wouldn't freak out quite yet about screen time. So, who do you think he will end up with if he ends up with someone? My top pick so far is still Madison. In my opinion, she's getting the best edit of anyone so far. So much of the last few episodes has just been pure drama. We got like a smidge of actual romance this episode with Kelsey. And otherwise, it's just been drama. That's what they've been focusing on, drama. So I don't. I think anyone who's not involved in the drama heavily right now is getting a good edit. So the fact that Kelly and Madison still got a little bit of screen time, at least thrown in the previous episode, I think bodes fairly well for them. But yeah. Rate this season so far on a scale of 1 to 10. Well, I'll definitely... I have already thought... so I do... Like, I've started doing, with the channel, reviews of seasons and trying to grade it on 3 points. 1, the lead. 2, the cast. 3, the producers. And 4, in this most recent season, I added the romance factor. And so far, it's not... doing well on a lot of those fronts. So, but it's early on. It's early on in the season. Things can change. One thing I do like about seasons is when they change something up from the formula. Certainly with the ending of the season, it feels a little bit like that. And Ali Sachs, thank you so much again for the super chat. Do you think there's a possibility that Peter taking Alea's rose away is the never before? Also, lots of Luke P comparisons with her. Yeah. Luke P came back at the end of Hannah Brown season, obviously, which is a bit like, it's a bit strange because it's sort of at that weird end stage, and this is a bit different because it's very early on in the show. But definitely we've seen the never before already. It's not something that's gonna still happen, I think. It's either this Bachelor history moment is either that taking away the rose, or asking her to giving her the group date rose when she wasn't on a date. Maybe that's it, right? Alea gets the group date rose. She wasn't invited to the group date. So, do you think the comparison of Alea to Luke P is fair? No, I don't. My gut reaction to that is no. No, I don't think it's fair. One thing that I have thought about is an In Defense of Alea video. There's a whole lot of drama, and there's a whole lot of, he said, she said, she said, she said, that went around this this last thing. I don't think the never before thing has happened yet. Yeah, that's possible. It could be something that happens in the upcoming episode, but there's a part of me that, I don't know, that can, like, there are things that Alea does where I go, okay, I don't know about that, but there's also a lot of flack that she gets that I don't know if it's entirely her fault. So maybe there'll be an In Defense of Alea video. Might explore that. And War Machine Rocks, thank you for the super chat. I thought the format would go back to normal with the last episode ending in the roast ceremony, but I guess not. I thought so too. I thought that they were okay. They had the whole drama, they had the Champagne Gate stuff and everything, and they had the 3-hour-long episode, which messed up the format of the episode. So I can understand that. They have a 3-hour episode, they add the one-on-one and everything to the first episode, and they kind of take an episode or two to get back to normal, and then last week they got back to it. And then now they mess it up again. And I'm personally not a fan of that. I like to end an episode on a rose ceremony. It feels like you have come to the end of a chapter of a book. You can kind of go, okay, and then start next week fresh and feeling good, and what's going to happen next week. And I don't know, and maybe it's also like we're just so used to that. Perhaps somewhere or someone at the Bachelor team saw that ratings go up when they end on a to be continued, and they're really stretching that out this season. So maybe that's it, but I'm hoping that... So one of the things that happened last season was when the format was so messed up, one of the episodes ended halfway, and then the rest of the episode was like a recap with Hannah Brown, and that kind of was rough. That was a rough episode. So I'm hoping something like that doesn't happen again. And Tony M, thank you for the super chat. Have you said thoughts on Madison's fan account? Yes, I did in a previous live stream. And so I agree with a lot of people that the thing that happened with Madison, for those of you that don't know, Madison, there was her first one-on-one on Instagram, she posted a picture of her and Peter, and it said something like, "What a great night," or I don't know, I'm really, really paraphrasing. And then she responded to that like, "You're so real and so genuine." And people kind of figured out that it was her posting on what should have been a fan account, and that she forgot to switch profiles. She later said it was like her family member and all that. I don't think it's that bad. And All right. We've got the one man spam, the one woman spam going here. Thank you for that though. I don't think it was that bad. But what was bad about it was the fact that they pushed back on it and that they kept talking about it. So if she had just let it go, it would have been okay. It would have gone away quickly. But there was a big deal out of it because she kept clapping back to it. And Phil, thank you so much for the super chat. With all the drama we've had and not much romance, I'm surprised that Chris Harrison hasn't said this is the most dramatic season. He has said this is the most dramatic season.
It is the most dramatic season ever.
He did so on his live stream, though. Maybe he hasn't said it on the episode, on any of the episodes, but he did say it on the live stream, and that actual soundbite is from the live stream. And has your final one thoughts changed? Not in my final one thoughts, but I'm beginning to. I'm curious about. I'm curious about the final four, and I'm gonna take another look at this episode and the preview and reevaluate at least one person that's in my original final four. I don't feel like the three of them have changed, but there might be one that will change. So. Is there anybody who was eliminated already that you're surprised didn't make it further? Yes. On night one, I think it was Marissa was her name. I might have forgotten. But that's about, like, that was someone who I thought was definitely going to make it further. So, who do you think will be eliminated at the next rose ceremony? Do you think Alea's rose could be taken away? Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. I mean, like, that would be kind of poor Peter if he does that. There's no good outcome for Peter with Alea right now. So, say he continues, and I feel like at this point Peter should just commit to giving Alea that rose, and he should just get all the women together and say, "Look, I gave Alea this rose because I felt that I should do that, and that was my feeling, and I'm sorry if that has hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry that I've confused everybody by eliminating her and then bringing her back. And that's on me. But I also decided to bring her back. And I just ask that you be okay with that as I figure out what my feelings are. Because if I don't bring Alea back right now, I might wonder what would have happened. And I don't think any of you would want me to be wondering what could have happened if you're there at the ending with me. I would imagine you all want me to be sure about my decision. So let's get that straight. And he brought her back. If he decides now to say, okay, well, everybody, you're right. Everyone's upset. Alea, go home. That would be even worse. That would be the worst thing he could do. So that would just I don't know. I think he should just dig in and say, "Hey, this is what's up." So I think Peter's just so afraid a Luke P situation might happen again that he's being very cautious. Yeah, I do think there's a lot of I do think Peter's thinking a lot about what the right thing generally to do is, and he's not just I don't know, like I think sometimes in the moment he thinks about the right thing to do. Like Alea shows up and he listens to what she says and he goes, "Okay, well, I'll bring you back." And he's not thinking he just needs to be more genuine and for himself and looking for the right thing without thinking what other people might think, I suppose. I don't see his connection with Alea, even though he says he has one. Is she really worth the drama? So yeah, like, I mean, it did come out of nowhere. I think a lot of it's hard to see his connection with anyone this season, right? Other than like a couple of people from some of the one-on-ones, because there were one-on-ones, right? And so much of the time we've seen on the screen is just drama. I hope that there is a connection there, right? I hope that there's more connection. There are more connections going on, and we're just not seeing them because, it's not making the final edit of the show. And Phil, thank you again for the super chat. Who are likely candidates for the Bachelorette? I think whoever gets second place. So, like, we can go through the top 4 candidates right now. I think if he doesn't choose Madison in the end, she would be a candidate, right? Seems to, so far, even with the like silly Instagram thing, she's one of the few people who so far have not been in the drama and could be a Bachelorette candidate. It's way too early to tell. By the way, because usually these things aren't decided until very late in the game. I mean, at this point, a year ago, watching The Bachelor, no one would have even thought about Hannah Brown as a Bachelorette. Not even close. And so it's like impossible to predict now. So, and Hannah Brown was not in the top 4, so it could be anyone from the top 6. It's so hard to say. I know some people have talked about Hannah Brown being a Bachelorette again. I don't think this is the right time for it. I think it's too soon. But I could see that happening in the future. I think if there was ever a likely repeat candidate for that, it would be Hannah Brown. But and Think Story, thank you so much for the super chat. Cleveland excluded. If you were the Bachelor, what dream destination would you take your Portland. No. Cleveland, Wisconsin. I'd hit all but seriously, if I was the Bachelor, where would I take my final 3? Like, the first place that comes to mind, I think of like France is a very romantic place with a lot of culture and things to do, history. My idea of fun, although like it's great sometimes to go and relax, and the producers get to, slap on swimsuits on everybody, those warm weather areas. But I would like my idea of getting to know someone is going someplace where you do something like really cool or there's something to explore. And so I think like a place with history and stuff like that to do would be a great place to go. And Fancy Pants, thank you so much for the super chat. Which came first? Did Victoria sign up as a contestant and then Chase got the gig, or did Chase get the gig and then Victoria signed up? I'm guessing you're talking about this comment from the episode where Victoria mentioned that Chase didn't want her to go on the show, and I thought that was weird too. So again, for those of you who may not have watched, Victoria F got the first one-on-one of the episode, and her ex-boyfriend Chase was there at the date, ready to perform music. and she mentioned that. And so I thought it was weird. There are a couple people that had responded saying it could have been, they had already broken up and he didn't want her to go on the show, but I still think it's weird. So I think it's a bit suspect, but that they talked about it, regardless of what actually the context is. The fact that they talked about The Bachelor before the show seems weird. I just don't understand why Victoria P lied. I know it's a bit like it's a bit strange. Like the whole figuring out what the heck, who's lying. I don't envy Peter. Who's lying? Who's telling the truth? Why was someone lying? Certain people seem genuine, certain people don't. And then it flips on another episode. So, who do you think is going to make it? Do you think Hannah Brown will come back? Do you think they'll end up together? I don't think so. Most likely not. If we see Hannah Brown again, it won't be until after the final rose. So we won't see her again. I mean, I love the tinfoil hat theory of Hannah Brown coming back at the end, and that's what that's all about. But if I were a betting man and I had to put money on it, I would say probably not. Who's going home this week? So you can watch my preview breakdown for my thoughts on that, because there was no rose ceremony this week. So I think Kiara is someone who's going home. I mean, other than the lingerie thing that happened the week before, that she's had no screen time, we've seen her nowhere in the previews apart from the group date this week, the Cleveland Browns football thing. That's the last time we've seen her so far as I can tell. It looks like they're going to Costa Rica and soon, and we've seen only so many women, and it looks like Kiara's not in that group. So unless I missed something and she's somewhere in the background there, she's my top pick for going home. This is such a finasco, I know. Deandra too. She makes it further. I talked about her in my preview breakdown as well, because she was one of the women in the preview who was, confronting Peter, but it seems like almost every woman is doing that now. All I can say for Alea is almost paradise. Thank you, Priscilla, for the super chat. Absolutely. So, I mean, a lot of these women, maybe that's what they're going for, because there are a lot of paradise candidates. And I've seen this a couple times here. Tayshia for Bachelorette. I'm for that. I am for that. I'd watch a Tayshia Bachelorette. But I still think they're going to try to pluck someone from this season. It seems to work so well with the formula, right? Or, hey, tinfoil hat theory. The new show that they've got going on in the off season? Maybe they're trying to pluck someone from there. No, the timing wouldn't work out. But no, they're gonna try to grab someone from this season for sure. And if Peter ends up with no one, that's the perfect situation for a final 1 or 2 person for Bachelorette. Yeah, there's a new show coming on in the off season. It's a kind of a mix of like Chris Harrison was on their Facebook page today saying he's going to be the host. He's officially going to be the host of it. It's not going to be like someone else. It's not going to be like a crazy spinoff that's not really connected to the show. I don't know many details about it, but it's going to be happening in the off season between Bachelor and Bachelorette, and it's kind of mixing The Bachelor with music and performance. So, all right, this person's getting banned. We've got that. There you go. Bye. Sorry about that. Oh, we've got them back. Great. Lovely. All right. There's a whole raid of fun people coming in here. Thank you, folks, for that fun. You're really doing the work here. Making us work. Fun. Jeez Louise. Really trying hard. Sorry about this, people. We're just going to play my little mini game of me and the mods trying to ban all this crap. This uninvited fun stuff. Wow. They just really... Woo! Yikes. Sorry about that, everybody. Fun. Thank you for that. Really productive, fun trolling you're doing here. Thank you. And thank you to the mods who are working as fast as they can to get rid of this fun stuff here. How are the bots this advanced? I know. Cool stuff. Sorry about that, folks. I think they're just regular profiles, but bots took over their name. I know, it seems weird. All right, folks. It is about that time anyways where we are going to... I don't know what the heck is going on here. But I'll talk to the YouTube people about it. And we are getting to the time where it is going to be about the end of the stream anyways. So it's not like they're really... It's not like they're really disrupting much of the flow anyways. So it's time to go to bed and work on recap videos. We're just gonna end the chat here. Sorry for that, folks. But we're gonna end the chat here, and I'll talk to the YouTube people about all of that. So they're not really ruining much of anything because it is about the time where we end anyways. So thank you all for joining. I know. Mom, can you get me out of here? Sorry about that wonderful ending to the stream. We're going to be back tomorrow with our regular recap video. And then back for the preview breakdown the day after that. Hope you all have a great night. Thank you all for joining me tonight for the live stream. And until next time, Bachelor Fantake out. I too am befumbled. Have a good night, everybody.